all know the story of Coach Carter, high school basketball coaching legend. Carter uses his tools of discipline, honor, and most importantly respect to get the best out of his players both on and off the hardwood. Colleges came calling his name, and Ken Carter eventually scored his first Division I contract at previously unknown Tennessee Martin, inheriting a roster that won only 4 games in the season prior. In an incredible 6-year turnaround, Carter took the reins of the program and gave it some respectability, collecting a resume consisting of 4 Conference Coach of the Year awards, 3 conference championships, coaching 6 all-conference players, ultimately guiding the Skyhawks to the Sweet 16 in his 6th and final year. This was a memorable 50-episode series, but Carter knows it's time for change, and struggling teams from some of the better mid-major conferences were dialing his number. Coach Carter has selected the job offer he wants to pursue in the future, and has nothing left to do other than pack up his office. He'll miss these halls at UT Martin. This is the first college that really trusted in his abilities and gave him a shot, and he rewarded them with some amazing seasons in the past 6 years. Nonetheless, Ken Carter makes one last exit from the Skyhawk Arena, the gym we called home for the last 6 seasons, and hits the road in pursuit of another success story, only this time at a higher prestige school. Change can be a really tough thing at times, but it can also have great results depending on the way you view it and attack it. Coach Carter's gonna miss the fans, the players, and the campus at UT Martin, but at the same token, he's furthering his pursuit for success with this move. And hey, after signing a contract with this new program, Coach will be making double his UT Martin salary per year. But Ken Carter isn't simply chasing barrels of money. He wants to leave a positive mark on another school that's lost faith in their basketball club. This is where Coach Carter has spent the last 6 years of his life, Martin, Tennessee, a quaint little community with a population of barely over 10,000 citizens. Coach Carter is leaving this small town behind for the pursuit of success in the big city. But not just any city, one of the most well-known basketball landmarks across the entire country. Welcome to the Bronx, New York. Welcome to Fordham University. The Fordham Rams belong to the hyper-competitive Atlantic 10 Conference, the best mid-major conference in college basketball. The Rams have also been an A-10 representative since 1995 and have almost 0 accolades to show for it. Coming off a 10-19 season and a 3-13 record within the conference, Fordham hasn't made the NCAA tournament since joining the A-10, and they haven't won a tournament game since 1970. They also have only 2 winning seasons in the past 26 years, and the bringing Coach Carter on board move will mark the 9th coaching hire since 1996. But as we all know, Coach Carter excels best when he's the underdog, and it's time we turn around the navigation of another struggling program. I welcome you to the sequel of the UT Martin Legacy Mode. Welcome to Coach Carter's College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode, featuring the Fordham Rams. And as Coach Carter would say,
the losing stops now.
Make a move, make the whole world move. Make a move, make a move, make the whole world move.
If you were to me, I'm the truth. If I get a milli, I'm a deuce. They don't want no beat, they call it truce. I step up in the room and make a move.
Make a move, make a move, make the whole world move. Make a move, make a move, make the whole world move. Make a move, make a move, make the whole world move. Make a move, make a move, make the whole world move.
They hit me.
what's up everyone? Great to have you alongside with me on a brand new journey. I welcome you to the first installment of the Coach Carter College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring the Fordham Rams. And first of all, I have to say thank you for all the comments and support on the voting video I posted. It was very close all the way between Louisiana Tech and Fordham, but the Rams ended up running away with the vote near the end. But all the buzz, the feedback, the comments, the discussion, I was all greatly appreciative for. Talking hoops is one of my favorite things to do, and having the chance to do that on one of my own series with you guys is a very special feeling, and I thank you all for the feedback. It means so much to me. Throughout the course of this series, if you think the rotation needs adjustments, if there's a high school recruit you like, if there's something you think Coach Carter needs to fix in his game plan, don't be afraid to sound off in the comments. The interaction with you guys is my favorite part of doing these types of series. So welcome to New York City, everyone. The UT Martin era of this series has officially concluded as Coach Carter heads up north to the big city to hopefully change the trajectory of another struggling program. We all now know the story of Fordham. The move to the Atlantic 10 has not historically been all that kind to these Rams. only 2 winning seasons since joining the A10 back in 1995. They've had an 18-12 record in 2006, then going 17-14 in 2015. And the winning seasons actually end there since 95. The Rams are coming off a second to last place finish in the Atlantic 10 and another forgettable season, and their problems really start on the offensive side of the floor. The Rams last season were the only A10 club to fail to reach 60 points a game, and the second to last place team was Rhode Island, who tallied about 64 points. So the Fordham offense is clearly light years away from being competitive within these other A10 teams. However, one strength of this team is their raw athletic ability up and down their roster. There's a lot of speed on file, which has really helped the Rams finish around league average in points per game allowed last season and turnovers forced. The foot speed on this team is something Coach Carter will have to take full advantage of to help out on the offensive end and putting up points. It's inevitable that we're going to take some tough losses in these first couple seasons. However, we can't play a vanilla style of basketball and expect to compete. And Coach Carter knows this, and as the regular season looms closer in an upcoming video, he's been brainstorming ways to fully utilize the athletes that he has at his disposal. So you're getting a quick glance at the roster right now, but don't worry, we'll be meeting the rest of our team during the Midnight Madness scrimmage. In just a few short moments, we'll be getting very up close and personal with those guys, giving you guys the rundown. But first, we need to recap the rest of our offseason, starting off with the recruiting class that Coach Carter has inherited for this upcoming season. The former Fordham coach had 2 scholarships to hand out, scoring commitments from 2 3-star prospects, and both are pretty promising forwards for different reasons. We have a sophomore who spent a year in JUCO college ball, a 6'9" forward named Fabian Swanson, a very strong kid who is very polished in the post, and a 6'7" forward named KJ Bigsby. Bigsby has a pretty solid scoring rating from all 3 levels as a freshman, but he's a tweener. We're not sure if he'll play the 3 or the 4 at the college level. He has the shooting and finishing ability of a small forward, but is very raw when having to go to his dribble. And he's very undersized, even as a small ball 4. So you're kind of seeing, 3 or the 4, where's he best at? So Coach Carter's handed KJ a red shirt season in hopes that we can figure out what forward spot he's best at during this extra season of eligibility. So next up is our Season 1 schedule, and I ironed out an out-of-conference slate that should present us some challenges. Our season opener will be upstate as we travel to Syracuse to take on the Orange. Syracuse and Jim Boeheim will expect that to be a tune-up game, but matchups like that are a great way to gauge where our team's at. Plus, I bet these guys on Fordham are excited to play in the Carrier Dome no matter what the result is. Then our home opener is against the Manhattan Jaspers, one of the few games out of conference that we're actually favored in. Then our preseason tournament hosted by the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. We're guaranteed 2 games with our first round opponent being Ole Miss, so that'll be a tough one. We travel to Marshall and then to La Tech. We actually host the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech, a team that just finished behind Fordham in your guys' voting, so we'll see how they're doing in Season 1 as we get up close and personal with the Bulldogs. We get Toledo at home, then we travel to Penn State, as we might be able to at least hang with the Nittany Lions. That would be a huge win. Houston in another tough matchup, and then finally on New Year's Eve, finishing our out-of-conference schedule, how about a tango with UT Martin back in the Skyhawk Arena? This will be a big moment for Coach Carter, the first time in 6 seasons he won't be on the sidelines for UTM. He's been replaced by Coach, and his name is A. Falls. I looked for like 20 minutes. I couldn't find where he coached at prior. I'll try to at least locate his resume before that matchup a couple videos from now. Then league play starts against the Bonnies at home, then against Temple, and then a brutal part of the schedule as we face St. Louis, who is ranked 12th in the preseason polls. They were fresh off of a 16-0 conference record and a Final Four berth last season. They are favored to repeat. And then the very next game, we have to face George Washington on the road, fresh off their Elite 8 Cinderella run as a 10 seed in this series last season. Dayton, who is always tough, and then Richmond, who returns all 5 of their starters. Then we get Charlotte, Xavier, St. Bonaventure again, St. Joe's, LaSalle, GWU at home this time. Then on the road against St. Louis, that's going to be a real tough one. And Duquesne out in Philadelphia. And then we finish Season 1 against the only team that finished worse than Fordham in the conference standings a season ago, the Rhode Island Rams. We're going to play 16 conference games, that's how the A10 works, as then we finish with a little prelude to the AAU or ABL, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to be going through the ABL this episode. The ABL is basically AAU ball where you can scout your targeted prospects in person in their high school days. That won't be happening today, but I will be working on a preseason prospect preview episode. That'll be episode number 2 of this series, with the third being our first game against Syracuse. So don't fret, we'll be featuring the high school prospects on Coach Carter's target board next episode with their very own highlight tapes and breakdowns. Very excited to throw that together for you guys. But now to finish out the episode, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. The clock is about to strike midnight on October 21st, signaling the start of all practices for all Division I programs. And to celebrate, we'll be throwing down in the Rose Hill Gymnasium, our new home here in Fordham. And we'll be taking a good long look at our new rotation. And we'll be seeing the 2s in the maroon road jerseys taking on the starting 5 in the white home treads. I hope you guys are excited. I am too. And don't expect this to be your typical lackadaisical going through the motions scrimmage either. This is some prime opportunity for the players who are trying to make a name for themselves inside of this rotation. So expect these kids to be leaving it all out there to leave a good first impression on their new coach. So let's head down to the hardwood, everybody. This is the first time we'll be seeing our new Fordham Rams in person. Like I said, it will be the starters in the white home jerseys against the 2s in the maroon jerseys that we'll be wearing on the road this season with the white treads. So here we go. Sorensen against Swanson at the timeline. The rep tips off the ball and we're off and running into a new era of College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode action. Here in the Bronx, New York, the bench unit will have the first rights to the basketball today with Nick Nystrom, the backup point guard, send things up for the Rams. High post to Preston Murphy, a sophomore. As he looks around, finds Nystrom, nice backdoor feed inside to Stanton Scott, the first player we'll be highlighting today. Scott is a junior, projected to be the 8th man in the rotation, our backup small forward. He's a very underrated wing on this team. He made about 1-3 a game, pacing all Fordham players and 3-pointers made on the year last season. And he also looked like he'll become a prototype 3-and-D player, as he sports an 87 steal rating, and he's also an awesome athlete, one of the many good athletes you have on this team, and he has some bunnies that helps him soar over taller forwards for rebounds underneath. As we take a look at the starters' first possession of the Midnight Madness scrimmage, it'll go inside to AJ Ali, kick out to Vashawn Pollard for 3, no good, but the long rebound is right into the hands of AJ Ali, our top returning scorer from a season ago. The now senior Ali averaged about 8 points, 5 rebounds, and he gives you a little bit of everything you want from a leader. He's got good poise, he's a good decision maker at the small ball 4, and he gets involved on the offensive side with his strong 243-pound frame. Thanks to his lightning quick feet, he's got 85 speed that helps him be one of the best on-ball defenders we have, with his defensive career high sitting at 3 for both steals and blocks in his 3-year career. So a bucket apiece for both the starters and the bench as we see Preston Murphy working with the ball in his hands, but that one's sent back by AJ Ali as Evangelo Higgins puts the burners on and then beats everybody up on the other side of the floor. Evangelo Higgins will be our starting shooting guard. He was the top-rated freshman a season ago for the Rams, a 6'7" sophomore from the Bronx, one of the 2 hometown kids we have on roster. He started 29 games last season as a freshman. He's now the highest overall player at 73. He's got really good slashing skills. He can attack the rim with either hand. He's pretty ambidextrous, pretty comfortable driving from the left or the right, and he's also got good anticipation on defense. But he's also an undisciplined defender. He gets beat off the ball a lot, and he was second on the team in personal fouls a game in his freshman campaign, so just becoming a higher IQ player on defense will help him out a lot. So now we check back in with the bench. We see Holiday kicking it out to Stanton Scott, no good, but the long rebound now is picked up by Fabian Swanson, a JUCO transfer we are all very excited for. He's the 7th man projected in the rotation heading up into season 1. He, along with Higgins, are the 2 hometown kids on the roster from the Bronx. A 3-star JUCO recruit about to get his D1 career underway, and he'll be seeing a lot of minutes from the get-go. Swanson is more than likely the best back-to-basket player we have on Fordham. He's got good awareness when finding locations and missed shots, as you saw right there. If you see starters minutes, I could see Swanson becoming probably the best offensive rebounder we have on the team. He just needs to develop a better understanding of defense to become a starting caliber player. So now 5 apiece as we jump forward a little bit. This scrimmage is a great time to start to work on some things, find out some traits from some of these guys, including AJ Ali's Offensive rebounding, which has been very impressive here in the early goings. That's already his third offensive rebound that he's grabbed in his second basket. So the starters take a basket lead as Preston Murphy pops out for the triple as he rips it clean. That was an awesome screen there set by Fabian Swanson. Preston Murphy, along with Evangelo Higgins, could be the future of this program. He's a 6'5" sophomore. And despite not actually starting a single game last year, Murph actually led the Rams in minutes played, so that tells you how much they like this guy. It was a fairly successful rookie season with the Paterson, New Jersey product leading all Rams in steals. However, Murphy's shooting percentages were diluted by his shot selection. He put up 178 attempts on the year, but over half his shots were from three, with 91 attempts from behind the line, and he only sunk 24 of them. So once he becomes a smarter offensive player, he's going to fit right in once our senior small forward graduates that we'll be meeting fairly soon. So here we are running in the open floor a little bit. Here come the Maroon team, as this is a beautiful assist from Holiday as he finds Nick Nystrom. Nystrom was our backup point guard a season ago, another former JUCO transfer who was added last offseason for an extra scoring punch from the bench, and he was pretty solid in his first Division I campaign. Even though he's not much of a playmaker at the point guard spot, he did lead all Rams in three-point percentage, tallying a percentage of 41 from beyond the arc. So for a team that desperately needs shooters, Nystrom has definitely found his niche in the rotation as to this backup point guard role. So the bench now up by 3, 10-7 game with about half the time elapsed here in the first half of action as Hassan Rivera, he's our starting small forward projected in season 1 as he draws the foul. As he stands at 6'5", 263 pounds, but you'd be surprised how well this senior moves for his size. Second on the team in scoring last season, crafty with the ball in his hands, he's doing a good job of creating for others. And he makes his money for mid-range with a 74 mid-range and an 81 free throw. Rivera's biggest weakness just is the fact that he needs to improve his ability of playing off the ball and find more ways of getting open so he can show off that good mid-range shot he has. So now 10-9 game, we are at the halfway mark. Nick Nystrom, he's had a couple nice possessions to begin this game, but this one's rejected. I believe that was our point guard to be Vashawn Pollard with the rejection as he leads the break, and then a gorgeous feed inside to the trailer. Nice job locating him. That's Vollard to Cade Sorensen, our starting center to be. Now back in the lead is the starting five until we see Amir Holiday knock down a three-pointer. He's a walk-on this season from Oceanside, California, projected to be 9th in the rotation, our backup shooting guard. He's one of only 2 players on the roster not from New York or New Jersey. Amir Holiday appears to be a diamond in the rough for Fordham. A 3-star recruit out of high school, Holiday went a little bit under the radar and played Division II ball out in Cali for 2 seasons. He tried out for Fordham this past summer with the previous coach still on file, and he ended up making the team. And not only does he have a nice touch from inside, he can also add some 3-point shooting to a team that finished dead last in the A10 in that category last year. And the quick feet he possesses is tough to get around for opposing ball handlers, so a pretty good two-way player that the opposing coach found in the rough. As we see Nick Nystrom leading another break, but this one is tipped away. Vashawn Pollard with more active hands, as again he leads the break, and he will draw the foul on Nystrom. The 2 point guards in the rotation going back and forth there a little battle of wits here between Pollard and Nystrom, as we see Vashawn Pollard will be highlighting him next, knocking down 2 free throws. Last season was Vashawn Pollard's full season as the number 1 point guard. He started 25 out of a possible 29 games. And Pollard is one of the many plus athletes on this team. He's a 6'6" combo guard who can beat guys up the floor, as you've seen already tonight. And he can do some scoring with the ball on the deck, finding some shots off the bounce. So a combo guard, 6'6", really intriguing player. The senior Pollard making some plays tonight. So the bench still up by 2 as Cade Sorensen with the back to the basket game kicks it around to Hassan Rivera for 3. As actually no, it was not a 3, he actually had a foot on the line, but Rivera still showing off some of his outside shooting ability. Knotted up at 20 apiece now, Nystrom tries to go backdoor for his second turnover. AJ Ollie takes it away, and it was a really crisp break run there by the ones. That is Vashawn Pollard with his second assist, a gorgeous feed once again from the senior, finding the underclassman. There is our top overall player, Evangelo Higgins. So now 1:32 left to go in the first half. Going high to low is Rivera to Sorensen, as Cade Sorensen takes advantage of the height mismatch down low. A 6'9" junior from Brooklyn, he will be our starting center. He averaged 1.1 blocks a game last year. That was top 10 in the A10 a season ago. And Sorensen's a player who has some pretty impressive physical gifts. He's got a very long wingspan and good timing on his shot contests. Sorensen is now a junior, but he needs to really take that next step on offense to secure that starting gig at the center position. He did average 7 a game last year, but it was on a highly inefficient 38% from the floor, and he also shot only 44% from the line last year. He might have led the team in points if he knocked down 60 or 70%. As then we see Hassan Rivera with the snatch steal, Pollard again with his third assist, this one going back to number 3. There is Evangelo Higgins with his also third field goal. So now on the last possession of the first half, 26-25, the starters only up by a single point. It's been a very competitive, fun to watch game as Pollard works with the pick and roll, a little handoff to AJ Ali, who tickles the twine on the take inside. A very impressive one at that. AJ Ali, your top scorer at the half. It's only fitting that the leading returning scorer paces all Rams today, as now in the second half we'll be switching sides, seeing if this bench unit can still hang with the starters. We'll see if they'll not run out of gas. So we're taking control of the boys in the maroon jerseys. Let's hop into it. Down by 3, Nick Nystrom at the controls to begin the second half of action. Nystrom to Preston Murphy, who showed some flashes there in the first half. He almost has it stolen by Pollard, but Murphy picks it up. And in the scrum game, Fordham is down a man, so good assist there by Murphy, finding Nystrom for points 5, 6, and 7 for the top returning three-point shooter from a season ago. Still down by 4, Nystrom working off the screen, now finds Amir Holiday with a foot on the line. I love that play right there. The pick and pop between 2 guards, that's going to be hard to defend. That's a play that's going in the playbook this season. 9:16 left to go. We'll see what the starters can muster up now. Backdoor inside, Pollard off the mark. Nystrom, great play there. He gives up 6 inches of height, but still got the stop and gets the assist up the floor to Preston Murphy. He now eclipses AJ Ali of the game's top scorer. Murphy with 11, continuing to turn heads, trying to become a much more efficient player this season, as Nystrom is now sent back by Cade Sorensen, his second block of the contest. But Nystrom does not give up on the play. He attacks Vashawn Pollard near the timeline and forces him into a turnover. A senior on senior crime right there, as Nystrom continues to be everywhere. We talked about pregame, this being a good opportunity for some guys to for Coach Carter to take notice of with a couple of nice plays, and the bench is doing just that right now. Amir Holiday for 3. I think Holiday and Nystrom are 2 guys that their stock is definitely rising as we finish out this game. We got 6 minutes left to go, and we're going to give the nod to 2 players at the very tail end of our rotation. Vernell Didion, a 6'5 senior point guard, the 3rd stringer on the rotation. He's our 11th man from New York City. He's a senior who hasn't seen much time over his Ram career, averaging only 6 minutes a game through 3 years. But Vernell Didion is a decent pass-first point guard, but he is a below average athlete and can't shoot from beyond 15 feet. And then our 12th man, Kosuke Takahashi, a 7'1 big fella from Japan. Takahashi is very raw material for an everyday big guy. He's a space eater, kind of soft inside, and he doesn't do that great of a job of crashing for follow-ups, but he does remind me of Dominique Cleveland, our 7'2 backup center on UT Martin, and Cleveland became a solid contributor, and with 2 years of eligibility left, Coach Carter wants to see what he can turn Takahashi into as we jump back into more Fordham Rams action with the bench still up by 3 with 4.5 minutes left to go. Perhaps Coach Carter will have some suicides in store for the starting 5 if they lose to the bench unit, as we see Evangelo Higgins spotting up from the wing. Great assist there. Once again, Pollard flashing some playmaking ability. I talked about him being a combo guard, but he's got 5 assists up to this point. So 43 apiece now. We might be in for a big finish as Pollard takes it away from Vernell Didion, and Vashawn will finish with an easy take on the other end. 9 points now for our starting point guard to be. So now 2:45 left to go. It's 45 apiece. High post AJ Ali over to Evangelo Higgins for 2 in a row in the left wing. A nice little run, a nice little spark here by the starting 5. A lot of pride on the line between these 2 rotations, as here comes another turnover. This one is given away by Amir Holiday with, wow, that is Hassan Rivera finishing off the break. And I talked about it pregame, 6'5", 240, but he will surprise you with his athleticism. So overall, it was a really fun night here. The starting five ends up taking the game by 6 points, 59-45, but a very valiant effort from our backup unit. So giving you guys the rundown on everything, there was definitely a lot to like about tonight. I noticed a lot of running and gunning from both teams, and everyone who pushed the tempo looked pretty effective in transition. Perhaps that's a ripple that Coach Carter wants to use in his advantage in Season 1. Like I said earlier, we can't play a vanilla style of basketball and expect to compete in the Atlantic 10, we'll just be straight up outmatched. But perhaps a high-octane tempo will play most of Fordham's strengths with all the foot speed we have on hand. Vashawn Pollard looked his best in the open court, especially his passing. It seems like when the floor opens up, he starts to make really good decisions when finding his guys. Evangelo Higgins paced all players in points. He poured in 11 of his 16 in the second half. However, he did lose track of Amir Holiday a bit. He's got to figure it out a little bit more on defense. Both forwards, Rivera and Ali, did a bit of everything. Really impressed with them. And we were worried about Cade Sorensen's efficiency heading into the season, but I mean, hey, he opens up his sophomore year 4 of 5 shooting with 2 swats and the scrimmage underneath. For the bench, I was very impressed with Nick Nystrom, 7 points, 6 assists, and he held his own against Vashawn Pollard. He was everywhere tonight. Amir Holiday filled up that spot-up shooter role well, and we'll see what he does against other D1 competition, the former D2 player. Hopefully he'll be able to adjust to the speed of the game when the closeouts on defense are tighter. Preston Murphy, while a tad inefficient, was electric at times. He did some scoring inside and out for a total of 13 points. Murphy is a volume shooter, so we're going to have to take the good shots with the bad ones. Stanton Scott only played 13 minutes, but he did score twice. And the JUCO sophomore Fabian Swanson showing off some early flashes of future potential. He had 12, 7 and a steal, 6 and 9 from the floor in 24 minutes. Well, we finally reached the end of episode 1, everybody. It's been a really fun time. The intro, the meeting of the team, and of course, the first time we see them in action during the Midnight Madness scrimmage. But now that means that practice officially starts up for Coach Carter. He's got 2.5 weeks to prepare for that opening game against Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. But that will not be the next episode. Episode 2 will be the recruiting preview. We have a good amount of seniors here in Season 1, a big difference than UT Martin when we only had 1 senior at the beginning of that series. So that means Coach Carter's going to have 5 scholarships to divvy out, and we're going to meet his top 10 players on his board. We're going to need 3 point guards. All 3 of the point guards on file are seniors, and a couple other positions, but we're going to take a look at all that next episode. I'll break down the graduating players, and we're going to hop in with the top 10 on Coach Carter's board with highlight reels from their AAU games. Gonna have stats on all these guys. It'll be a great time. I hope you show up for that. That'll be episode 2, the recruiting preview and highlights, and then season 3 will be tipping off against Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. Trying to see if we can play a little bit of spoiler here on opening night. All in all, I'm so excited for this Fordham series. I'm finally happy I could finally get this out to you guys. This is College Sports Revived. It means a lot of you guys were able to stop by today and finish out this episode. Got a lot of great stuff coming with the Fordham Rams series. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That concludes episode 1 of the new Legacy Mode series. So here's to a new journey. I'll see you guys next time where we take a look at some of the high school prospects, and then eventually episode 3 against Syracuse. So stay safe out there, everybody. Stay tuned. This is College Sports Revived signing out. Peace, guys. Hope you have a good one.